We are on an exciting chapter today. This is called brain cell food and filler food, and I am so excited to read about this today. One of my 2026 goals was to stop eating filler food altogether in 2026. It's day 2, and I went 108 days last year not eating filler food. This year, I'm doing 365, mark my words. All right. People often refer to filler foods as bad because they associate the term with unproductive processed foods, preservatives, food chemicals, and additives. In truth, these ingredients should not be called fillers. They should be called toxic processed foods, toxic preservatives, toxic food chemicals, and toxic additives. These foods and food chemicals are in the category of brain betrayers. We don't realize that our diet is composed of 3 categories. Brain betrayer foods, which are foods and food chemicals that actively work against our healing. Filler foods, which are foods that take up space and don't offer healing powers for what we're up against in today's toxic world of sickness. And 3, brain cell foods, foods that actively help us heal. The true meaning of filler food is that they take up the room of other foods. Healing brain cell foods that could help turn your life around and reverse chronic illness. Filler foods don't reverse chronic illness. They may not worsen chronic illness, but they still don't heal chronic illness. Restoring and healing the brain depends on non-filler foods, brain cell foods. In the filler foods list you'll find later in this chapter, don't be surprised when you see whole foods listed. You might think it's a mistake that the filler foods list is not a list of processed foods. It's no mistake. Filler foods, in their true meaning, can be wholesome, pure, organic, and not processed foods or food made in a lab. Filler foods can sustain us when we're not fighting chronic illness. As human beings, we can survive on filler foods. While our quality of survival may not be the best, regardless, we can still survive. It's when we're chronically ill with any kind of condition or symptom that there are critical requirements for our food. Those requirements are antiviral compounds, antibacterial compounds, and ample amounts of nutrients such as trace minerals, vitamins, antioxidants, and helpful amino acids, not unhelpful amino acids. There's a difference between medicinal foods and filler foods. Yes, filler foods have nutrients in them too. Filler foods have trace minerals, they have vitamins, they have amino acids, omegas, and other nutrients, yet they're present in such small quantities that they aren't easily accessible, versus medicinal, healing brain cell foods where these nutrients are in higher quantity and much easier to absorb and access. Filler foods are missing one of the most important types of chemical compounds for humankind to survive in this day and age: antiviral, antibacterial, antiparasitical, and anti-mold compounds. Filler foods are also missing another critical set of chemical compounds, the compounds that remove toxic heavy metals and toxic chemicals. Even though filler foods contain nutrients, they don't have these abilities. One reason we get into a rhythm of relying on filler foods is that we're taught they're healthy. We're led to believe that according to food science, our filler foods offer more than enough of what we need. It's easy to be misled, sent down a misguided nutrition path. When food science glorifies a nutrient inside a nut, fish, chicken, or bean, we tend to run with it, as if it's a golden nugget. It could even lead you to reciting in your mind as you're eating your oatmeal how good it is for you because of the nutrients found in oats. We get into a habit of consuming filler foods, making our diet mostly composed of filler foods and brain betrayer foods, squeezing out the opportunity for foods that are powerful for our healing process. Restoring the brain takes highly nutrition-charged foods. restoring the neurons, neurotransmitters, brain tissue, glial cells, nerve cells, brainstem, and cranial nerves. It takes more than grass-fed beef, oatmeal, or almond butter to accomplish. So let's get into the brain cell foods list. Brain cell foods fall into 5 categories: fruits, leafy greens, herbs, wild foods, and vegetables. These foods are all disease fighters. They also support the growth of cells in the brain, such as the glial cells, connective tissue, and neurons. Your goal isn't to try to get as many different foods from this list into your diet as possible. Rather, if you want to heal, focus on making whichever foods you choose from this list the main part of your diet. Try to take up the space of the filler foods and brain betrayer foods in your diet with brain cell foods instead. Focus on any of these brain cell foods in any way you choose to eat them. If you'd like to try mono eating for a period of time, refer to the Cleanse to Heal book. There you'll find guidance on mono eating bananas, papaya, potatoes, or peas with celery juice and optional lettuce, along with other mono protocols from different conditions. Keep in mind that this is not an exhaustive list. For example, you may have wonderful local fruits available that aren't listed here. This is simply a representative list of examples to give you ideas about the healing possibilities available with fruits, leafy greens, herbs, wild foods, and vegetables. Also note that this list is not in order of potency. And with that being said, let's get into the list. Fruits, we have apples, apricots, Asian pears, avocados sparingly due to fat content, bananas, berries including blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, black raspberries, strawberries, and your local edible berries. Canastil or egg fruit, chirimoya, cherries, cranberries, cucumbers, custard apples, dates, figs, grapefruit, grapes, guava, jackfruit, kiwis, lemons and limes, loquat, I've not heard of that, lychee, mame, mandarins, mangoes, melons, nectarines, olives sparingly due to fat content. Seek out olives without vinegar, citric acid, or other preservatives. Oranges, papayas, passion fruit or lilikoi, peaches, pears, pineapple, dragon fruit, plums, pomegranates, pomelos, rambutans, my favorite, ripe peppers, not green, sapodilla, I've not heard of that one, sapote, soursop, another one of my favorites, starfruit, summer squash, tangerines, tangelos, and mandarins, tomatoes, winter squash including butternut, delicata, sweet dumpling, kabocha, acorn, and honey nut, and zucchini. Let's get into the leafy greens. Wait, zucchini is a fruit. I forgot about that. Yes, zucchini is a fruit. Leafy greens, we have arugula, bok choy. Again, I love bok choy. Oh my gosh. Broccoli, collard greens, frizzy and endive. I never heard of that vegetable. Kale, lettuce, including green leaf, red leaf, butterleaf, romaine, heirloom lettuce, mache, microgreens, including sunflower greens and pea shoots, mustard greens, radish greens, spinach, sprouts, and watercress. Herbs, it says, no additional medicinal edible herbs appear in the supplement gospel section of this book's companion. We have basil, celery, chive, cilantro, garlic, ginger, lemon balm, marjoram, mint, onions, oregano. Wait, an onion is an herb? I didn't know an onion was an herb, you guys. Parsley, rosemary, sage, scallions, thyme, and turmeric. Wild foods. If you recognize a food in this list and doubt that it's wild, know that there's a reason it's listed, because the food is so close to its wild origin, even if it's readily available from the grocery store. Aloe vera, burdock root, chaga mushroom, chestnuts, coconut, sparingly due to fat content. Coconut water, not pink or red, no natural flavors. Crab apples, currants, dandelion greens, heirloom bananas, heirloom lettuce, mulberries, mushrooms, other wild edible berries, persimmons, raw honey, reishi mushroom, rose hips, sea vegetables, wild blueberries, and wild cranberries. And on the vegetables list, we have artichokes, asparagus, beets. Be cautious of GMO and bioengineered. Broccoli, Brussels sprouts, cabbage, carrots, cauliflower, celeriac, eggplant, kohlrabi, lentils, best eaten after soaking for a day. Remove any pebbles. Do not let lentils dominate your diet unless they're your only available food source. Parsnips, peas, potatoes, radish, rutabaga, snow peas, string beans, including green beans, sweet potatoes, yams, and turnips. And with that list, I'm going to stop now, come back for the next video to learn about the filler foods and the fat-based foods. Do you like any of these brain cell foods? If you do, drop it in the comments, let me know. I hope you do, because these are going to completely reverse your symptoms. It's amazing. All right. Much love and happy healing. Bye.